This feature story is brought to you by Brothers Habet Limited.
Tired of replacing light bulbs? LEDs are what you need. LEDs last up to 30,000 hours. That's 30 times longer than incandescent bulbs, and up to 8 times longer than compact fluorescents. So less changing and less trash. Planet Earth thanks you. And the LED experts at Brothers Habet and Habet will help you find the best LED solution with colors for every room and mood, starting as low as $6.95. You can even get LED strips for home, office, and industrial use. So say goodbye to fluorescent tubes forever. And because they use up to 90% less energy, you save money. Money you can spend on other things. So head to Brothers Habet or Habet and Habet today. You can also call, email, or Facebook us. Have a brilliant day.
As long as I could remember, me and my family have been very involved in the church. Like my mom always, anything she said yes to, so any ministry she was a part of, it was like a no-brainer that her 3 girls would be, tea-tie-toeing behind her, that we'd be at every event that my mom was at. And so I think that was definitely a big part of me falling in love with ministry and being involved in the church. I remember when I graduated high school, I came in 5th, and my priest, Father Scott, he said, "Why'd you come in 5th? You could have done better than that." I said, "Father, it's because I have a life." And he just died. He was laughing, and I was like, it's true though, because I remember in high school I would go to church at like 7 o'clock at night and come home like really late, and my friend would message me saying, "Hey, have you done the chemistry homework?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not home yet." And the next morning she's like, "Did you even do your homework last night?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." She's like, "How did you get it done? Because you're never home and you're always busy." And it was really just such a blessing, being able to manage my life like that, and to be so many miracles. I think when you serve God, you give your time to Him, He gives you 100-fold more.
I think Tessa and I have been friends for the past 7 years. We've always known each other, but we're just there. But we became best friends 6 or 7 years ago. And honestly, I think it's been the best years of our lives, kid. Everyone said they've seen you grow, but I've had the opportunity to grow with you. And we've shared everything together up to this point.
2 memories I think that stuck out that I think just kind of points to your character, revealed your character at different times. One was at the mission month talk at the Civic Center, and when there's a big event, not just because you're speaking on the stage with a lot of people, but that wasn't it. You're speaking to your peers. Right, and that was very close to that year, and so I thought that took a lot of courage, And so I think that was a significant, moment in your journey, and you're able to just share very candidly and openly and prudently to your peers and to other youth in kind of a staged environment. That's not always easy. And another memory that came to mind that I think marks a little gift of your character is once I think we went to the morning show on Love FM. I don't know if you did that, right? And we had this kind of dynamic happening. I was there, Tessa, and I had this little dynamic happening. And it came to time that the question came to Tessa, the youth example just comes up. And of course, being at Guadalupe Media, she's very comfortable in front of the camera, but the sincerity and the joy of Divine Mercy Diary at the time and your story that came out, and then watching the hosts be impacted by your witness, and I'm sure people watching it. I think that was that sincerity. I think in that moment, you really saw a beautiful gift that you were able to give. You know, and everyone has that gift. And it's beautiful to watch it when it happens each time at different times. You know, but then it was nice to see that you had the opportunity to do it, and you were able to give it, and so it was really beautiful.
I remember the first time that we were gonna record our first episode of our news. We were all excited, I was excited, we were all in one room. Everybody was just excited, and Tessa was a little bit nervous too and excited at the same time. And after we finished recording that, it was just like a joy, a tremendous joy that we had. Every time I would record with Tessa, it was just fun. Just watching her read the news, and every time she would make a mistake, she would laugh, and it would make me laugh. And going back and editing the news was, again, just fun. Listening to her and laughing every time she would make a mistake, and I'm surely gonna miss that. And I want to wish her good luck on her future endeavors, and God bless her, and we'll see her again.
Eventually, when I started to see that, I love the church and I want to give my life in service to God, it's just like a slow branching off of, there are things where now this is like, through the youth group really, like, okay, this is something that I do, like I do the choir, like my mom isn't telling me, go to choir, you remember you have choir practice, or go to youth group, like it was me telling her, I have youth group today, and like small little things like that, that were just, I could feel it becoming my own, and then Guadalupe Media was one of those things that was my ministry that I'm involved in.
So I want to say I've seen you grow, Tessa, to this beautiful light that you are. And I want to thank you for saying yes to God's call. Because you have to say yes. You have to open that door, right? And I remember your beautiful testimony at the Civic some while back, right? I know you know what I'm talking about, probably 3-4 years ago. And I said, I figured, you know, everybody has a story. And so I wanna first, on behalf of the board, because most of them are here, express our gratitude and our admiration for the work you've been doing here at Guadalupe Media. As I said to all you young people here, you're a unique group. You are the minority. We need more of you guys in the country. This is how I grew up in church, right? Going to the shoppings and doing, you know, the work of God from a young age. And so I have to commend your parents, of course, they're right here, because they have a role to play in who you are and what you're doing to all of us, the way you touch us. So thank you both for raising such a gem, and I'm sure her siblings aren't any different, but Tessa is who we're talking about today.
I think the first time that we became friends, right, was up here when we were filming with Sister Emmanuel, right?
Yes.
And I was more driving, and you were filming us by the seawall. And then you're like, I think we should be friends.
Don't say that.
That's cute. That's cute.
That is
I'm very grateful that we are friends. We have become good friends, and our chats together shall continue.
Yes.
And God bless you all.
When I think of Tessa, I think about her joy. I say joy because she was a light to all of us here at Guadalupe Media. Every time she would come to record here, she would lighten up the room. She would make us smile, she would make us laugh. Thinking about her joy reminds me of when I first started working here and I was assigned to record Tessa. I noticed that the word smile was typed into her script because she would forget to smile on camera. And over the time, we started being more creative with our stories, and we told Tessa to just be more comfortable. She could do different things on camera, and I guess that made her more confident, and it made her smile more on camera, to the point where we had to remove the word smile because she naturally did it. There were so many times when I would be recording that we would just be laughing before I press record, and then lots of laughter after I stopped recording. And those are all things that you didn't see, but I saw. And so one of the big things about Tessa that I admire is her confidence. I think about how she can just go on camera and just be herself, and that's something I struggle with. And just seeing her, how she can just sit in front of the camera and just talk and not make any mistakes. I really admired that. And now that she's leaving, well, I know that we're all gonna miss her, and that she'll be in our hearts, and that we're very grateful because she has touched all of our lives in a great way. And I know that she's gonna do great things. And I know God has a special plan for her, and I can't wait to see it.
In January 2019, maybe the end of January or early February, I was asked to be on a show called Lead Me Home to give my testimony. Miss Mary Beth Maestre had asked me. And so I eagerly accepted, and I did it. And I thought that that would be the end of my time with Guadalupe Media. But I think it was maybe a week after that, I was approached by Mr. John Marhevka, who is the founder of Guadalupe Media, and he said, the Holy Spirit wants me to tell you this. I don't know why or what you'll do with it, but I think the young people need to take back Guadalupe Media. Like, the young people need to go and run that place again. And so he said, I'm not telling you this so that you walk up to the building and storm into the office and say, hey, I'm here to help. But just pray on it, keep it in mind. And I did keep it in mind. I don't know if I prayed about it, but I definitely had that in my mind. And then a couple months later, end of May 2019, my mom got a call and told me that at Guadalupe Media they want to meet with me. I don't know why, they just wanted a meeting. And so I said, okay. So I came to the meeting, and that was when they said that they have an idea to start a newscast monthly, and they want a young person to be the news anchor, essentially. And then when COVID happened, that was when I think I was very devastated, because I thought that I was going to leave that year, 2020. I thought I was going to go to school, and that was my plan right after graduation to go. But it didn't happen that way because of COVID, and I was sad, but I had the opportunity to spend a lot more time here at Guadalupe Media. That was when we switched the format to more feature story type things, and I started to write the scripts and do other things. We had Beyond Basic, and I think Beyond Basic was one of my favorite things I've worked on, because I had, you have the whole experience. You get to plan out the show, what topic do you want, what guest do you want, and I really had that experience of what it means to work in media, and it refined a lot of my skills, public speaking skills, courtesy skills, creativity, all of that. And not only that, but at Guadalupe Media, we love to party. We love to have fun. So we go on trips, and we have dinners. And so a lot of that helped me in my maturity and my growth as a person, and in becoming more independent, knowing who I am. And also, I've gotten to meet a lot of people that I would have never met otherwise. And people would come up to me and say, "Oh, you're the girl from Guadalupe Media." Or someone once said, like, "When we see you, we see Guadalupe Media." And that's so strange to me, because there are people who work here behind the scenes that do so much more than me, and people are like, "Oh," and I come here like once or twice a week, and they're like, "Oh, you're Guadalupe Media," and it's so weird when people say that.
I think I've known you for 9 months. So much longer, doesn't it? I know. And I think when I came here at the very end of October, which is not even a year ago, to serve in Benke, and I want to say a weekend, Sister Rachel's like, "There's this girl from Divine Mercy from Police City that wants to visit the convent." I'm like, "How old is she?" We established you're old enough to come visit the convent, but you never know what you're gonna get when somebody wants to visit the convent, especially if a priest encouraged it. You never know who the priest is sending you, what they're gonna be like. So you put my fears to rest and far exceeded my expectations of a random person coming to visit the convent. And it's been a delight to get to know you, and you are a gift. Franciscan is never going to be the same. And since you can't be here at Divine Mercy when we come into the city, I'm very, very happy that you'll be at Franciscan. So just keep being you.
To see the young lady that you become, I know it's definitely the fruit of your parents. It's so good to just look up and see that, you know what, young people are taking leadership roles. It's not, it gives us hope.
Divine Mercy is my home. That is where I grew up. That is those are the people that are my family. I see them more often than I see my own family. And I am so grateful for my mom, that she pushed me to be a part of the church and gave me that community and gave me to know the importance of making your life be one big Holocaust, just service, just serving God, and always thinking of others before yourself, and being committed. And it doesn't matter if you don't feel good today, you are going to your choir practice. It doesn't matter if you have homework, you are going on that whatever pilgrimage or whatever thing we do. It's really a gift, and now I see it how abnormal it is for somebody that when I was 10 years old, catching a bus on a Thursday evening to go with Sister Alicia to do a workshop. That was so weird. Nobody at my age was doing that. And now I see wow, those things really helped. Those things really formed me, even if they didn't make sense at the time and if I took them for granted. But they got me to where I am today, to the person that I am today. And I am so grateful for all of the mercy that God has had on me, for giving me everything that I have.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely miss you, seeing you around, and I think you loving me. And I was getting used to seeing you around here, but I guess it's a bit now. So yeah, I'll miss you. Sorry, that's so much.
I love you, Hannah.
I can say that I definitely admire you, and that you are definitely a role model to me in my faith as a young lady, as someone my age, being so devoted to your faith. I definitely aspire to be more like you, and I loved the group that you put together for the feminism, the Catholic feminism. That was amazing, and I will say I will miss you.
And then, seeing each one of them grow differently, some would sprout to be flowers more decorated with different fragrances, and you'll see some, you'll see obviously Tessa, being this quiet one of those sitting with Jesus. And I see her more as a very contemplative person, who would sit with Jesus and then pray. So every time we would have the new mass, I see Tessa, we need to help us out with reading or with singing and so forth. So we'll always be able to rely on her. And it's always good to have these persons in any group that you could always count on, and I think she's been one of those bedrocks that we found in the group
we could always rely on her, and the same thing with Alexis and Jen. We always be able to rely on them. Like, you were like just a core within the core group of the youth group.
Over the summer of 2020, I was invited on a camping trip with the Divine Mercy Youth Group. At first, I was very reluctant to go as I was fairly new to the group. But after some convincing from my mother, I decided to go on the trip. Tessa and her family were the only people I knew on the trip. But from the moment I arrived, Tessa greeted me with her smile and lovely personality. I've always known Tessa to be a very cheerful and delightful person, and her friendliness showed throughout the trip. She was always checking in on me, making sure I was okay, and she was introducing me to the other members of the youth group. My friendship with Tessa strengthened over the trip, and we are much now closer than we were before. I have now attended multiple mission trips and youth group events with Tessa. Tessa is an ideal role model for all youths and adults. I believe that everyone should have faith and love for God and His people, just as Tessa did.
We are all craving happiness as people. Like, we all want to be happy. If you ask any person what they want, they're gonna say, I want to be happy. And so, I don't know which saint said it or where this is from, but I know there was some quote along the lines of, we are only happy when we are giving ourselves as a gift to another. And so that is really the secret to happiness. And I've learned that in my time with the church is, you know, we were made for love and to be loved. And ultimately we were made for the great love, the maker of love, who is love himself, God. We were made for Him. He is love. We were made for Him. And so He is the only one that can make us happy. And in giving ourselves to others in a total self-gift, which is so not human, that is not normal for human. Like, we don't want to give ourselves, we want to care about ourselves only. So when we give ourselves to another, we are imitating God, and that is purely a form of grace. And so that is what makes us happy, when we are giving ourselves to someone else. You know, as young people, it's this limbo, because it's like we are in this state where we just care about ourselves. We don't have to care for anyone else. I mean, we're not parents. You know, for parents it's easier. They give to their kids. We don't have to care about anybody. The world is telling us, you know, it's all about you, like self-care, self-love, and these things. And I mean, you know, we do need to love ourselves, but not in the way that the world is telling us. That just leads to more depression. It doesn't solve it. What we need is the only way we can know ourselves is when we're with other people, in relation to other people. So that's the only way you can know who you are, is through your relationships with God and others. And so that is through service. You know yourself through service. You know, it's not when people say, oh, you need to know yourself, they think that I need to spend time with myself, I need to, I don't know, lock myself in a room and really just think about who I am. That's not gonna work. You're not gonna find yourself by yourself. You're gonna find yourself when you're experiencing, when you're giving, when you're serving. And so even if it starts as like a purely selfish way, like I'm going to go down to the church and try and serve because I have nothing to do with my life and I'm miserable, do it. You know, that's nice. That's a nice first step. Do it for yourself at first, if that's, you know, where you're at. But after a while, you're going to see that there are so many fruits that come from it. There are so many people, like people that I've met through serving the church and just being a part of the church, that know how to love really well, like priests and sisters. Those are like the best examples I can give. Like, if you want to know how to love, go to a priest or a nun. Like, they know how to love. And so many times, like, you know, through my relationships with them, the way they look at you or the things they say to you, it's like, I don't deserve that. Like, you just know, I don't deserve to be loved this way. There's nothing I can do to earn this because I'm not good enough, but I'm still receiving this love anyway, of no merit of my own. and it reminds you of the love of God, because He loves you with no merit. You can do nothing to earn His love. There's nothing you can do to make Him love you more, love you less. And so you can know the love of God through His people and the people who know how to love like Him.
And I was asked to just stay over because some volunteers were coming from out of the district. And Tessa was along with them. And I remember for most of that day that I had to be there, I basically was out of it. I don't think my head or my heart was in the building. I was just wanting to go home. But just seeing Tessa talking with everybody and just being so jovial. I'm not a very outgoing person myself, so to see her being very outgoing, it was basically my invitation for me to start talking to people. And then when people started talking with me, it felt really good. At the same time, whenever something needed to be done, I remember one instance when we had to throw away some garbage, and I was just about prepared to not do anything at that point, because I was asked to do one thing and one thing only, and it was to monitor the security cameras. And just seeing Tessa trying to take initiative and not being able to finish it, I'm like, it just inspired me to just get up and do more work, which I did. And just seeing her happy afterwards with me getting up and doing something instead of just being insular, which I like to think is my default mode. It is very jarring to see somebody feel happy for me doing something other than just being myself. It kind of encourages you to come out of your shell. I think Tessa has the kind of spirit that rubs off on people. It just makes them more in the moment instead of just by the moment, instead of existing on the sidelines. She will pull you in. She has that kind of energy.
I first met Tessa only a few months ago at the Diocesan Youth Rally, and at first it was so amazing to see someone who had such passion for the faith, such a rigor for the faith. She was very enthusiastic and outgoing, and it was here that we had several discussions about some issues that were ongoing at the event, and because of that we began to speak more often, and we would have very deep discussions about the Catholic faith, about different doctrines, practices, and her understanding of the Catholic faith, her roots in the Catholic faith was so admirable that even when we had these very intense discussions, it was okay for me to say, okay, I was wrong about this, or you might be right. And likewise, because we could sense that both of us were seeking truth in our faith. Tessa introduced me to Guadalupe Media. She probably saw this fire that I had for the faith that I shared with her, that we would share with each other. And if it was not for Tessa, I don't know much other people my age who really have this love for the Catholic faith, for Christ, for His church.
It's been very humbling, and I'm so grateful for all the opportunities that I've had, and I really think that this is just the highlight of my life, this time that I've been here. And I know that, God has a lot in store for me, but it feels like this is the best that I could get. And really being here has prepared me for my entire life. I feel like it's helped me grow up, and I see it as such a blessing that I got to stay here 2 years longer than I probably would have, and that now I'm leaving to go to school and finish my studies, not for good, because I'll probably come back when I finish studying, because I love it so much here, and the team is so good, and the work we do is so good. It really is a ministry. It's not a job. It is a unique type of ministry, and real building up of the kingdom. And I love Guadalupe Media and I love the work that we do. And I hope that in the future I can continue to be a part of it and to continue helping in this, because I feel like I've found my calling. I found the way that the part of the body of Christ that I am, I found that here.
One of the things that really stands out to me about her was when we had social events. She would spend so much time making these special gifts. One of the gifts I recall Tessa making was a gift for one of her co-workers where she brought like little things like candy and gum and pencil and a note, and she packed it in a little box. But it was special because it was the person's favorite items. And I said, you know, the amazing creativity that she came to Guadalupe Media with, it spread through every single thing that she did. And so when we heard that Tessa was leaving us, I mean, of course, we were saddened, and then we started to plan and we said, what would she enjoy? Like this farewell had to be for her. It had to fit with the things that she enjoyed. And so one of the things that we discussed was, what would be her gift? What would be her farewell gift? What would Tessa appreciate? And we came up with this idea of a keychain that would have on some of the closest people to her. And these people were the people that she went to the mission field with. If you know Tessa, her heart was to share the love of Christ and getting close to Him through our Blessed Mother. And so everywhere she went, that was her purpose. And she truly walked out, even at this young age of 19, this great command. And so we thought of giving her pictures of herself in the choir singing, which is something that she loved and did so well. We thought of sharing a picture when she was blessed by our chairman here at Guadalupe Media. We thought of adding to that a picture of some fun times with our staff, where most of our staff was included. And then we said, who will design this gift? Because we had the idea, and that's where Artmark came in, and we said, you know, we need somebody to put together this keychain, which came out lovely. And when we saw her reaction, we knew that it was the right gift. And so today I want to bless you, Tessa, with one of the gifts that you gave me. It's one of my favorite things from you. It's a gift that she personally made, where she gave me 100 scriptures. Anybody who knows me, if you walk into my office, you know that I love inspiration, and she personalized this gift for me, where she made cards, handmade cards, printed them with 100 scriptures on them, and she made a little pouch to put in the gifts, and it's still there and very close to my heart. And so on this occasion of your farewell and the start of this brand new season, leaving Guadalupe Media, I want to share with you one of the scriptures that you shared with me that was taken from Acts 1:8, and it says, you, Tessa, will receive power when the Holy Spirit continues to go upon you and go with you, as you continue to be my witness wherever you go, even to the ends of the earth. As you leave us, go with our love and blessing, knowing that you will continue the work of the Great Commission to go in all the earth and spread the love of God to all peoples. Thank you again for your excellent service here at Guadalupe Media.
that's our story. Thank you for watching. For this and more feature stories, you can follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or view on Guadalupe Media Channel 96 on CCV or Channel 64 on CBC. You can also tune in on the radio in your car, home, or office at 101.9 FM, and please be sure to download the Guadalupe Media radio app from Google Play or the App Store. Our Blessed Mother, lead us to Jesus.